Hey everyone, how's it going? I hope you guys are having a good one. So, we're going to be talking about some spicy stuff today. So, it's going to include some sexual themes and stuff like that. So, if you do not want to hear this stuff, this is a viewer discretion advised video. So, I'm just letting you know now. But it does pertain to payment processors and processing companies like Visa and Mastercard, PayPal, and all that, and kind of their reach in everything that we purchase, right? So, but without any further ado, again, if you do not like anything with those themes, please click off the video. But let's go ahead and begin. So, this article from IGN. This was written by Vicky Blake, like that name, on July 18th. Now, this is the first time I heard it from Steam because this is the article they're talking about from Steam. But what they're going to be talking about has been done in the past, and we're looking into some of that. We're not going to look into articles really because I'm going to try to make this video as fast as I can. But this is related to Steam. Okay, so Valve pulls adult-only games from Steam as it tightens rules to appease payment partners. What is it, Pounce Pounce? Yeah. So my kitty cat, Pounce De Leon, he decided that he was too hungry and he could not wait. He was actually in my daughter's room like all day and decided to come out when I decided to make my video. So he is now fed and he is happy. But let's go ahead and continue the video, shall we? Sorry for that cute interruption. But as I said, this was written by Vicky Blake, and it says, Valve is tightening its guidelines around adult-only content to satisfy rules set by Steam's payment processing partners, with dozens of sexually explicit games removed from the platform throughout the week. Okay, now the processing partners would be Visa, Mastercard, Americanexpress, PayPal, Capital One, so on and so forth, which I think they are also like Mastercard or Visa, but you get the idea. It's where we put our money, pretty much. As spotted by GameSpark and shared by Automation, SteamDB logs show that the flurry of activity behind the scenes as Steam updated its rules and guidelines policy, which we will read those here shortly, making it clear that publishing certain kinds of adult content could violate them. The newly added clause 15 of the policy now explicitly states content that may violate the rules and standards set forth by Steam's payment processors and related card networks and banks or internet network providers shouldn't be posted on Steam. Okay, I'm going to repeat that again. The newly added clause 15 of the policy now explicitly states content may violate the rules and standards set forth by Steam's payment processors and related card networks and banks or internet network providers shouldn't be posted on Steam. So it's not only an issue that the payment processors could have. It could be your network provider, right? Your internet provider. So if AT&T says, no, we don't want this content to be shown anymore, your network provider can have a say in that potentially. Now, I don't know if that's something that happens overseas or not. I don't think it really happens too much here in the States. But in terms of the payment processors, there have been plenty of instances throughout the years of them showing to be the arbiters of justice and what we can and cannot buy. And, you think back to the 90s when these credit cards were first being introduced and stuff, people considered them to be the number of the beast, right? If you had a credit card, then it was a big deal because it was new, right? And people were weary of it. You put your money and everything into this card. It's just like when we switched from coins to cash and then cash to plastic, right? But people were weary of it, and now many years later we're getting these issues where we're putting our money and being able to access our money through these cards, and now they're saying, oh no, we get to dictate what you get to spend. You get to spend your hard-earned money on what we tell you you can and cannot spend it on. And we live in a digital age. I mean, look at everything that you pay for. You don't pay Netflix with cash. or Hulu with cash. You don't pay these subscriptions with cash. It's all digital now. Video games, most video games are all digital now. So it's not like you can go to Walmart or Target or whatever and buy whatever, right? But so this is a big problem that a lot of people have. And I don't think that, and I'm one of them. I don't think they should dictate what we can and cannot buy. Now, if it's like explicitly illegal, then yeah, it should be flagged, right? If you're going around trying to purchase CP, you should just get lead like in the noggin. That's just how it is. But you know, with this other stuff though, it is scary, you know, because who's to say that they aren't going to go after people who vote a certain way or who have said something a certain way on if you're a media personality or something like that, or even if you're not, like you say something on Twitter and they're just like, we don't like the way you said this, we don't agree with what you said here, so we're going to lock your bank account. You know, it's stuff like that. It's kind of absurd. It's the money you work for, that you're trusting them with your money, and they're telling you now, well, we know what's best for you. We know what's best for you, and that's unacceptable. I don't think they should have any kind of say in what companies can and cannot sell. Okay, that's just me though, and I would love to hear what you guys think about that. But let's continue. It says here the X Twitter account for SteamDB revealed a long list of certain kind of games recently delisted from Steam. This is possibly related to PayPal's because people in certain regions have not been able to use it to pay on Steam in the past 5 days. I'm going to leave the article in the description below, so if you want to check that out, you can. I'm not going to click on that. It follows a public outcry earlier this year when UK Technology Secretary Peter Kyle slammed Steam for hosting sexually explicit novels in which protagonists engaged in non-consensual acts, including, you can read it there, and stuff, all in the family stuff. Developer Xeric Games eventually announced it would voluntarily withdraw the visual novel after it was removed from sale in the UK, Canada, and Australia. Now, again, you may not agree with the art, okay, but they're not forcing anyone to buy this. That's just me. Like, yeah, it's complete. This is a degenerate thing here. There's a lot of other degenerate things I've seen on Steam, but guess what? I didn't click on them. So like, no one's forcing you to buy these things, you know. For me, I read reviews, I read the stuff. Now, this is just kind of weird to me that they're trying to ban everything, it seems. Now, well, not really everything, but like I said, this is pretty degenerate. But I don't think that they have a right to tell you that you can and cannot buy it, is what I'm trying to say there. However, Valve's new guidelines were criticized by some who have expressed concerns over the censorship and the vagueness of Valve's language around its rules. Well, it was pretty clear. It wasn't really vague. At least it was clear to me. Earlier today, okay, I think that's the end of it. Yeah, because this is talking about Gabe. This is another article. There's some information about Vicky there, but yeah, so we're going to go ahead and read the guidelines here. What you should not publish on Steam. Hate speech, i.e. speech that promotes hatred, violence, and discrimination against groups of people based on ethnicity, religion, gender, age, and disability or sexual orientation. 2, nude or sexually explicit images of real people. 3, adult content that isn't appropriately labeled and age-gated. You know, you have your E through A ratings, E for everyone, T for teen, N for mature, and A for adults only. I thought that was, you know, pretty good. And here's another thing too. Like, that rating A has always existed, and you never saw that in stores. And I don't think the payment processors told them they couldn't sell that in stores. It was probably the stores saying, no, we can't sell this in stores. Children look at this, you know. But like, just like with Steam, you can go into your settings and make sure that stuff is blocked. and if you do have children, that they cannot see games like that. So I'm always for the SBR ratings. I think that they have always done a pretty good job with the ratings, but it also tells you what the game is for and why it's labeled a certain way. Let's see, libelous or defamatory statements, content you don't own or have adequate rights to, content that violates the laws or any jurisdiction in which it will be available. Content that exploits children in any way. And hold on, my family just got home. All right, so my family got me some McDonald's, so I scarfed that down. Whew. Maybe a little too fast, but we're back at it. So number 9, applications that modify customers' computers in unexpected or harmful ways, such as malware or viruses. Applications that fraudulently attempts to gather sensitive information, such as Steam credentials or financial data, e.g. credit cards. Video content not directly related to a product that has shipped on Steam. Non-interactive 360 VR videos. Applications built on blockchain technology that issues or allow exchange of crypto or NFTs. Applications with advertising based on business models. And finally, what we just read, content that may violate the rules and standards set forth by Steam's payment processors and related card networks and banks or internet network providers, in particular, certain kinds of adult content. Okay, so to kind of go over here, we see some recent uploads of, I just did a Google search, payment processors, censorship, Visa, and Mastercard is what I put, okay? So we see the recent stuff, but this has been going on for a while. We see this in 2024. This was around the time they were banning stuff in Japan, right? They were trying to dictate what people in Japan can and cannot buy. We see down here in 2013, credit cards under pressure to police online expression, all tech considered, from NPR. We see here from the Economist in 2021, credit card firms are becoming reluctant regulators of the web. Reluctant, sure. And then we have 2023 and 2022 again here. So this has been going on for quite some time, right? And it seems like lately they have been more willing to pull the trigger on things. And when I was reading this earlier, and I was actually thinking about this when I was eating, because my wife reads romance novels, okay? She loves romance novels. And I'm talking about like the smutty romance novels. There are plenty of romance novels out there that have like really detailed sexual themes. They have a lot of crazy stuff in there. And it just kind of made me wonder, like, are they ever, like, are they going to move on to the novels next, the books next? Like, are they going to say, oh, this is too much? You know, you can't be selling this stuff or writing this stuff. Are they going to tell us what we can and cannot write now? I mean, think of the manga Berserk, right? Or the book Berserk. I love that series. A lot of people do, but it's a dark fantasy, and there's a lot of themes in that manga that are not, you won't see today. You just won't. And this is one reason. Like, are they going to say, okay, well, now from now on we cannot sell Berserk because it doesn't follow the guidelines that we set forth for the companies? You know, so there's a lot of things I don't like about this, and also with the internet providers getting involved. Now, I did say something about, like, it doesn't really happen here in the States. I don't know that to be like 100% true. I know I downloaded an episode once of a show, and I got a letter in the mail the next day telling, like, don't do that anymore. But you know, there have been instances in the past where you hear people say, like, you know, the internet provider has blocked this website or whatever, right? And we're seeing that, you know, here in the USA, there is a push to kind of get rid of smutty content like OnlyFans and other, you know, websites like that. And whether you agree or disagree is not the point. The point is they're trying to dictate what you can and cannot do. And that's the problem. If it's my money, I'm going to spend it how I want to spend it. And if you don't like it, I'm sorry. But, the way that seems is, they're trying to lord over us in what we can and cannot do. And that's the problem for me. It's tyranny pretty much. And I'm not for that. But yeah, I am going to go ahead and go. I have talked too long. My kid wants to play with her Barbie house now. So I am going to go. If you liked the video, please leave a like. I'm kind of scattered throughout this whole video, right? If you did not like the video, thank you for watching so long. I really do appreciate it. Subscribe if you want to. I do all this for fun. I say it in every video, but yeah, my goal here isn't to become like a popular YouTuber or anything. I just wanted to do this, and it's fun. And I said this before, if you ever feel like you want to do this, just do it, and do it for you, yeah, that's pretty much all I've got, guys. If you like the video, again, leave a like. I'm going to go ahead and go. Take care.